All right, let's switch over to the football. The Titans are in town. We've got the game tonight. Coverage starts at 6:30 on 97.3 ESPN. And interesting team coming in. Tennessee made the playoffs a year ago. And this is a team that, I don't know, is there a lot of excitement, buzz around Tennessee when you think about Mike Vrabel's Titans here? Is this a team that people in Nashville are all geeked up about the start of the season? Let's ask Turron Davenport, who used to cover the Eagles. He's in Nashville now covering the Titans. So I guess he's in Philly right now covering the game, and he joins us on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. Welcome back, Turron. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? I appreciate you guys having me on, man. It's good to be back in the 215, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And you know that the Eagles fans are always geeked up. You know, season starting, let's go, let's get this thing rolling. Tennessee, 9-7 last year, very nondescript, not a lot of high-profile players. What's the feel as they get ready to start the season tonight?
Well, the whole thing, Mike Vrabel, his message is going from good to great and being more consistent. So they're working on different ways to do that. You look at the offense, they're trying to really help Mariota take that next step. Obviously, being in the league for 4 years already, you know, there's only so much improvement that he can make. But I think with him being healthy, you know, they'll be in a good situation because of the weapons they added. So it's just really, just like I said, just going good to great and just making sure that, you know, they're sound on offense. They're playing with more tempo. So that's something that you'll see tonight. And defensively, is just flying to the football. That's really what it's about.
Is Mariota going to play? And by the way, what's going on, Turron? It's good to talk to you, man.
What's up, man? Yeah.
Always good. Is Marcus going to play tonight more than or at all?
He'll play some. I would probably say the first series, maybe the second, depending on how that series goes. But I would expect to see a lot of Ryan Tannehill.
I think the bigger question might be, is Mariota definitively ahead of Tannehill?
Undoubtedly, he's ahead of Tannehill. There really isn't any discussion about that. For the most part, Mariota gets all the first-team reps. Now, earlier this week, they went through a 2-minute period, and Ryan Tannehill ran with the first team. It was just a semi-maintenance day for Mariota. And Tannehill actually, he looked pretty good. That was probably his best day of practice that I've seen them in camp. So we'll see what happens this game tonight. I think Tannehill is definitely looking to, you know, get back on the field and show himself of being a guy that's worthy of being a starter.
It's funny, Turron. I actually almost texted you last night, and I had no idea Mike lined you up for today. So the stars must be aligned, because I've been watching a lot of tape on the Titans from last year, in particular their outside linebacker, Kamale Correa, because I'm taking an online scouting course, the Scouting Academy, and he's one of the guys we're focusing on. And what struck me is that, first of all, I really like his skill set. He's very fast off the edges, versatile player, and this is the type of guy who I think will probably play tonight and give the first-round pick here in Philadelphia, Andre Dillard, a good test of what he's going to see if Andre has to play, a real fast guy off the edges. So how do you like that? Do you expect Correa to play, and do you think he's a good kind of matchup to see how Andre Dillard is in pass protection?
Yeah, I think Kamale Correa, he'll play, and I think he is a good matchup. Now, when you look at him, he's more of that guy that sets the edge aggressively. Yeah. He's more of a guy that uses in the running defense, you know, but obviously as an outside backer, you have to be able to rush the passer. So right. I definitely think that he'll be a guy, but I'm going to tell you, do yourself a favor and focus on number 50 today, right? His name is Derrick Roberson, and he's an undrafted free agent. He started at Texas, had some issues, and then he transferred, and he's coming Sam Houston. And that dude, or Sanford, excuse me, that dude is, he's legit. You'll definitely like him. His get-off is there. He has a few pass rushing moves, you know, violent hands. So if you're looking like from a scouting perspective, he's someone that you definitely will want to watch. And he's good. Derrick Roberson, number 50.
Turron Davenport covers the Tennessee Titans that are in town tonight. You know, Mariota, obviously you mentioned big year for him. But Derrick Henry, I think he's an interesting guy. And obviously he's kind of the lead back there. And we were talking about, Jeff mentioned he thinks there's going to be more 1,000-yard rushers this year than we've seen in the past. I would assume that with this offense and Mariota and the weapons, that Henry's going to be leaned on a lot.
Oh, yeah, Henry is definitely going to be leaned on. When the new OC, Arthur Smith, when he was asked about the offense and how it's going to be, he said their most explosive player is Derrick Henry, and he jokingly referred to the 99-yard touchdown run. But it's crazy that a guy that big can move the way he does, like and hit the speeds that he could hit, and he kind of runs like a smaller back when he's able to make that cut back against the grain and take off. So I think he'll be a big factor. It's all about establishing the run. You have a defensive head coach, so obviously you want to play physical football. Derrick Henry does that, and then you play off of that. That's kind of the way that you make the offense Mariota-friendly, so you could work play action and different things that way.
Is our old buddy Dennis Kelly, is he starting at left tackle there?
Dennis Kelly is the starter at left tackle,
Wow.
and even before the Juan situation jumped off, he was in contention for the right tackle. He and Jack Conklin were going to compete there, and I mean, last year Dennis Kelly played excellent. And I know, as a former Eagle, a guy that was traded for a DZB, a lot of Eagles fans would kind of throw him away and forget about him. But he's been a legit player for the Titans.
It makes me feel good, Turron. I was one of the few people who lambasted that move. I thought it was a terrible trade for the Eagles to get DGB, and turns out we were all right. And wait, are you saying Dennis Kelly was actually pushing Jack? I know Conklin had the injury that he had to come back from, but from a talent level, Conklin's got to be better, right?
When
healthy?
Conklin, from a talent level, he is better, but you always have to remember talent has to match scheme.
Right.
And Conklin initially just wasn't, and I think a lot of it was not having the confidence in that knee and being able to move. And obviously when you're going from a power scheme where you're blocking the man in front of you to a zone scheme where you have to get to a spot, it's going to be different. So it was kind of a double whammy for Conklin. But, Kelly, frankly, he played better in games that he came in to replace Conklin, whether it be the concussion he had against the Cowboys. And let me tell you something, DeMarcus Lawrence was eating Jack Conklin's lunch.
Wow.
And he had the concussion. Dennis Kelly came in and neutralized that. So, it's been hit or miss, but I think both players are really good.
Turron, all eyes in Philadelphia tonight will be on the secondary. Obviously, without Ronald Darby out there, without Jalen Mills, everyone's going to get a good look at Sidney Jones to see if he's going to kind of become that guy that they were expecting. And Rasul Douglas has had a great camp, and Avonte Maddox had a good year. So from a Titans vantage point, or to add them into this, everything I've read is that Corey Davis, their first-round pick from a couple of years ago, is looking like the man these days in camp, and he's going to make a huge jump this year. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I actually just wrote about that. Corey Davis is balling, and there are little details that he's working on, attacking the football, right, creating separation, obviously in and out of his breaks, but also at the top of the route, even at the release point, coming off the line. These are all things that he's working on. He made some catches during camp that you're really like, oh, okay, this is why this guy was selected with the number 5 overall pick. Mm-hmm. He's definitely stepping up. And I've always said, like, for Corey Davis, I don't think the inconsistency is all his fault, right? You have to get receivers involved early. And if you don't, mm-hmm. it's easy for them to check out, and Davis has admitted to not checking out, but, like, having trouble getting into the flow of the game. And it just happens, right, when you're not getting the football. So I think when you look at last year, the game against the Patriots, Stephon Gilmore, he's someone everybody figures to be one of the top cover corners. Well, he gave him work, and they went to him from the start. In the first 2 series he had, there was 3 catches for 60-something yards and a touchdown. And he ended up, with one of his best games as a pro. So he's definitely stepping up. I don't think he's going to play much because he had a maintenance day 2 days this week as well. He didn't play in the scrimmage that they had, and then he had another maintenance day before that. But if you want to know guys to look at, Anthony Ratliff-Williams out of North Carolina, number 83, he's really stepped up to the table. He's made some plays. There's a little guy named Khalif Raymond, number 14. He actually has been another guy to step up. So some guys kind of down the depth chart that you'll see more of. Those are 2 to focus on. 15, Darius Jennings is a player too.
This is a team that's really built around its defense. And we talk about the last guy on offense that I think a lot of people out there are wondering about. is, and I don't know that you'll see, obviously you won't see Delaney Walker tonight. Will he be ready for the start of the season? Because really he's a very important part of whether this offense can, he's kind of a make or break player for that offense almost.
Yeah, Delaney will be ready for the start of the season. He said he's not 100%, but he definitely is someone that they're looking to. Mariota's a safe quarterback, so you know what safe quarterbacks do. They like high percentage throws. They like to work between the hashes, and that's what a tight end, especially a guy like Delaney, specializes in. So he'll be fine. I think he may play. I wouldn't be surprised if he does tonight. So I don't think it's out of the realm for him to get back in the mix. And I think really having not played since last year's season opener is probably good for him to start getting some of those game reps.
I feel that he's been my fantasy tight end for like the last 5 years, so I wish him well. David Fluellen, by the way, remember him? He was traded by the Eagles.
That's right.
For Cody Parkey?
Yes.
Was that the trade for Cody Parkey there?
Yeah.
He's a Titan now.
Deion Lewis, former Eagle. You got a lot of Philadelphia connections. Jonnu Smith is from Philadelphia.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, John and Kevin Byard originally from Philadelphia.
That's right.
Before moving to Atlanta in 9th grade. So it's a semi-homecoming for a lot of guys.
Turron Davenport, what are we betting the under tonight?
No, I'm taking the over.
I don't know what that line is, so I can't give you.
I think it was 37.
A Vegas. I probably would take the over, but I tell you a sure shot to take for the season. That's the over 8 wins for the Titans.
There you go. All
like
right,
it.
Turron Davenport says over 8 wins. By the way, it's Eagles by 2, 36.5. If you're really itching to make a little money tonight, Mosher says take the over. All right. Turron Davenport, the Titans are in town. Good to catch up with you. Give us a little insight on Tennessee, Philadelphia. That's tonight right here on 97.3 ESPN. Good catching up, pal.
All right, for sure, man. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man. Turron Davenport, like all guests, appear via the Boardwalk Honda hotline.